What's up, everyone? This is going to be a VOD analysis of Team Happy Smiles versus Popper's Pupils. I'm doing this from Happy Smiles' point of view, and they will be Archmother. Let's get into the draft to start. In terms of the first bans, they banned Mirage. We banned Billy. I actually dislike this for the main fact that 1-for-1 trade is not worth here. Doorman for Pocket is not equal. So instead, I would much rather them, if they're going to give Doorman, ban Calico here for the main fact that they're already going to have one macro advantage. You want to take away the second one. And then that would leave you Billy and Pocket, or if they choose Billy, you get Dorman a Pocket. Therefore, you're going to be winning the top 3 exchange. Third Holiday, I like that. Venator, I'm not even going to worry about the Venator pick. I mean, it's fine, but the main thing is if they would have changed their first ban, then the top 2 plays itself. Holiday is good. Bebop ban makes sense. They ban Ivy. Viscus on 4 is solid. Infernus Krill, that's a very scary team. We go Apollo while Drifter's still in play, though. Drifter is actually, from my experience of coaching, Drifter is really good into Apollo for the silence. Yes, you can repost it, but a lot of people don't get that off in time, especially with the Veil Walker interaction. And then Abrams last, they need face, makes sense. He's going to have a tough game, but overall, how are laning phases? Popper's Pupils have really strong lanes. Archmother, lane pairing wise, they're probably going to go Pocket Abrams, which is a strong lane. Holiday Venator, which is fine. And then Viscus Apollo. Viscus Apollo is probably going to be the toughest lane, but it's still fine. So they shouldn't just lose outright according to comps. If they play right into the McGinnis lane, that's the scary part. Okay, starting out the gameplay, we're going to talk about itemization. Remember how we did in the last video where you're going to be doing draft, then you do lane pairings, then itemization. In this, we're kind of looking at slowing hex for Calico. You're going to have Dispel Magic, of course, for Infernus Drifter. And then because they have McGinnis and Krill, Knockdown's not a good buy. I mean, not a bad buy either. In terms of who's playing outers and inners, we're going to have Venator in the outer lane, Pocket in the other outer lane. Our mid anchor is going to be Abrams, which allows Holiday, Abrams, Viscus to go roam, hover, do the 2-2-2 sequence, all of that good stuff. Because this is a short game, though, it's like not very long at all. 22 minutes. We're going to be focusing more on laning phase than I have in the other one, because they've lost they probably lost laning phase in like the first 10-minute sequence. So we need to see how they play. All right, lane pairing wise, that is correct. They did it all right. Abrams Pocket's an extremely good lane because you can't really push into a camp with it. Krill can probably try to steal it with Scorn, but Abrams' charge being in the camp and Pocket having the AoE abilities, they will take a lot of damage if they try to contest. That was a really good jump in front of. Using your body to be able to block the shot so you can secure it. They're not going to have it starting off, no lane pressure. It's okay to let the wave crash because of how resistances work. It's every 3 minutes your tower starts taking damage. So it starts off 50%, and then it has base 10% bullet resist. And at 3 minutes, it goes down to 25% damage reduction instead of 50. So crashing is perfectly fine. He's staying out of the open of Infernus. Might speed it up at dead parts. They haven't bought yet. Normally, you want to slow down the third wave. For example, if you're Infernus and Krill here, you want to slow it down and not push it straight in. That way they have to choose between wave or the camp. So let's see if the other team plays it correctly. Oh, he should have done a heavy melee. He missed damage there. That should open up to secure their camp, though. This should be on camp timer already. They're now delayed on it. The whole point of having this lane is that you can snowball it and have ults first. Speed it up a little bit. Again, I'm going to really focus on lanes for each individual team, or each individual lane on this team. because they've had to mess up somewhere here. And it seems like it's probably going to be in the Viscus Apollo lane. Like I said, you have to watch out for the McGinnis. One wrong move and she takes your tower. Really good poke. So far, it's just Abrams missed one punch or didn't take the opportunity for a punch, and then they were late for the camps. Good job staying out of the view. They got a kill on Krill. I'm watching from Abrams' point of view to start. Okay, he should be out of like the range where he can die now because of he gotten away with it. Krill died, and Furnace isn't getting good shots on him. Left is playing way too aggressive. Abrams forces him off. Nice. Very well played from the guys. He needs to push this wave now and then reset. He needed to push this wave as well. They're probably calling it there's no mid-prio, so they can't get the buff. Alright, overall, this lane is not the issue by any means, so let's go back. We'll go to mid lane next.
Question if this is the right course of action, but it is.
Doorman Drifter. It's a good poke lane. As long as we're not just like running at them and taking free poke. Got some blast, good trade. Walked into that Doorman though, that's not very fun. He's gonna have resto shots, so none of this matters. It's not like meaningful. Pay attention to his resto shot usage. He's just getting hit by every ability though, and he missed that resto shot. Whoa, whoa, whoa! We just threw away our HP bar. Okay, no, that happened. Why did this holiday get so low now? That might have just thrown the lane right there. I mean, you can't do that. Just overcommitting. Okay, we also ran forward for some reason. We could have just barreled from the top. He was actually doing. Let's go back and look how he was doing in this lane. The worst part about watching laning phases over and over again is just the music keeps on happening. Music lasts so long. Yeah, so Venator out of position, just eating everything. He tried his little YOLO play and just threw his whole entire life away when that wasn't needed. And then Holiday jumped in, but I want to see how she's playing the rest of the lane. Nice, Mr. Burst. Even got a punch off. Wow. So far, so good. They need to be careful of their spacing. They keep on stacking on each other. And then, yeah, he just jumps in and he threw away everything. All of his advantage that he was building. Even if Venator didn't do that play, Holiday threw the lane individually. So they both just threw extremely hard at this. Even a late reset. And to a Drifter like this and a Doorman, once Doorman gets 2 points bells, it's kind of like extremely hard to play into as well. Their lane's kind of just tanked already. A lot of times Doorman Drifter will be using their lead because they're both like macro heroes. So that normally will impact other lanes rather than run it down in one lane. So we'll keep an eye on Drifter on the map. It's also extremely hard to contest buffs into Doorman because of his door. Alright, Holiday's going box route. Pay attention to this for a bit. I'm not seeing any deaths from them, so even good tower damage. This lane's probably pretty AFK if there's no kills, no deaths going on for a while. This lane's gonna be the one to watch, though. You see Calico roaming.
Has been destroyed.
You're going down. Setting up a bounce pad.
So if there's anything for this lane, it's just they need to mind their spacing. They keep grouping when there's a doorman in the lane and then stop doing the all-in trades. Holiday was literally owning and then just ran into all of them for some reason. And then Venator did his YOLO play. Even if he hit that combination, the one he was after, it doesn't do anything. He just dies after getting maybe 20 more damage. Dorman already has the door preset, which means they get buffed for sure. This lane won, so Dorman should go over to this lane. Which he does. They're using their map pressure well. Double buff, lost tower. Calico's the lane that won the lane. This lane. Which he does. They're using their map pressure well. Double buff, lost tower. Calico's the lane that won the lane. So now she gets free roam.
I can get something new.
We're going to stop it here, and we'll go one more time for the Viscus lane. Alright. Let's go ahead and pause it already. When they see, so they can't see it yet, but they're about to. When they see the McGinnis and they see the Calico, they need to know that they have to push the lane. This is a very aggressive lane where one wrong move and they die. Viscus should be thinking of like a rusted barrel for McGinnis. They should be thinking of even monster rounds to get the wave. Once up to get rid of the wave, and monster rounds are good for turrets. Their win con in this lane is going to be obviously splattering the wave plus them and poking him down, but we need 2 points into Apollo 3, which will give you bullet resist, and then you'll be fine. You can start getting aggressive on trades and start winning a little bit more. I like the extra regen buy. He knows he's going to take poke in this lane. He needs to be careful how much minion poke. A lot of Apollos take so much poke to minions, yeah. Oh, 200 HP to minions already. They just 3 and they forget where they're going with their 3. They just want to guarantee the hit, but they end up taking more poke than they're actually dealing. Especially into a McGinnis that has heals. No trade like this is going to be good when they get the heal online. He's good on getting poke, but again, that's almost 400 HP worth of minion damage. To watch from Apollo, I'm going to go back to Viscus' point of view. This is extremely poked out already. Like, they need to clear this wave and already be resetting, to be honest. They're both half. Then resetting in a McGinnis wave is really hard. Because, again, they'll be able to just go under tower. But they got good poke on them, so a reset actually, they might lose a little bit of tower damage, but they'll be able to regain some pressure. Here's the McGinnis heal. He just takes all of his poke again, man. There's such bad HP trades. Now he's gonna have to late reset, and they're just gonna have to give tower probably. Like, they both play that pretty bad. Let's go back. What Viscus do in this spot now? I think I saw a lot of right clicks. We'll make sure real quick before I say anything. That right click is fine. A lot of Viscus just overdo their right clicks. It's actually nowhere near as effective as your left click anymore after the ammo change. So you should just be left clicking. Again, I'm not a big fan of the high velocity. The waves are coming to you almost every single time. You should be looking to splatter. They're just forgetting the whole point of this lane. You just play for, you're going to get splatter 2 points, then you're going to get Apollo 3 2 points, and you can start trading. These right clicks are extremely bad. It's just using so much ammo. Instead, you should be just left clicking them and just killing the wave. This needed to be a rusted barrel or monster rounds, honestly, either one. Yeah, it's just non-stop. This is just like extremely bad. Again, Viscus, the only time you right click is when you're trying to get them out of cover, or if it's like the last ammo of the clip, like one left, and then you right click it, because then it's only 1 ammo instead of the 5. But if they're not behind cover, then you should be left clicking almost every single time. You need to use the cube for regen. We're not using the cube at all either for regen. Didn't cube any of the damage. We're just, this cube is cosmetical right now.
I'm safe now.
Or cosmetic. I don't know why I just said cosmetical. Yeah, their lane is done. They both actually made so big a misplays. So Apollo lost all of his HP to the minions, majority, 400 or so. He had an extra regen. They're not playing patiently for his 2 points. They don't know their win con in this lane. And that's apparent by the item buys as well. Like, he's going Mystic Burst next even. You're not going Monster Rounds. You're not going Rusted Barrel. You guys think you have a shot at winning this lane. You don't until you get to it. You just have to survive. But they didn't play for the survival either.
That was too close.
Alright, now we saw what happened there. We'll go up to 5 minutes where we were.
Our yellow guardian has been destroyed.
We're going to look at doorman ults this game as well, because I want to see how people actually are trying to escape the doorman. It's a very minor thing, but this whole entire review is going to be basically micro, because this isn't actually a macro thing. This lane did really well. This lane stalemated after their all-in trades, which they shouldn't have done. We're just giving them back-to-back kills. We shouldn't do this. They need to just defend the lane. And then Viscus honestly can even start rotating around. It goes both ways. Their Calico is free, but that also means that one of your players are free to make an impact around the map. And when you're slow bleeding like this, one guy didn't even have to come back. He could have went and impacted a different lane if it was available. You could just look to trade a tower. You already know you're going to bleed and you're going to lose that lane quickly, so you just try to impact somewhere else. But that was a little too early for you to really get any meaningful damage if you rotate it out. You might get a kill. He's going the express shot build, even though he's like decently far behind.
Our yellow walker is under attack.
Oh, first one. Let's see it. Let's watch Rusty.
Our yellow walker is under attack.
Please forgive the mess. The Baroness
Nope, he uses all of his stamina. Granted, he would have died anyway, okay? But I'm gonna nitpick that one, alright? We'll show it later. I'll show the proper way to go through doorman ult. Picked around, they attempted to do it. Good one for one trade. Okay, you can't punch the back like that in front of him. He just trolled. He's dead for it. Yeah. They are getting a little bit mechanical gapped. Let's go back here. We saw Viscus made impact. Which is natural. I mean, you're versing the #1 team. So you're supposed to. Good pick. There's no like team-oriented plays until I'm looking towards the 8-minute and 10-minute marks now, where they can really get back.
Perhaps I was a little too confident.
Pocket needs to carry the logs and the boats. All right.
So much.
And Abrams needs to go mid-anchor after.
Our blue guardian has
Like, this game is still fine. You know, it's bad, of course, because 4K down, but it's not game-ending for how bad it should have went.
Shall we dance?
745. Good, they trade tower for tower. That's beautiful. These guys back up. They don't die. That's important.
been defeated.
If Viscus is going this build while being behind, when you get Veilwalker, I need to see him, like, well, honestly, he should already be aggressive with this build, but when you get Veilwalker, you develop a different playstyle, because then it's just poke off Veilwalker, express shot timing. It's fine to play scrappy like this as well. Any death or 1-for-1 trade that you do is beneficial for the team behind, because they get more comeback souls. So the easiest way to come back into the game is to play scrappy. Good, what just happened here? Venator just does nothing. He's too poor. 6.3k, 9.5. Oh, he tried to greed a vault. He can't. He needs a hover first. So either he needs to call Viscus over, or he needs to give that, or he needs to push the wave in and then go to that. That way he has some kind of coverage. He's going in just blind by himself. So yeah, of course he's gonna die here. He's too fed not to. Zombie went to come after. It's just too late. They're down a lot of money now, so you're praying for a good earn trade. So when you're down this much, all right, especially with League trolling like that, because that's what that was. It was troll. Let's see if Calico ints after. Okay, no. Your first earn, you normally can't even contest. So if you're going to give the earn, you should be trying to play for one of the opposite towers, the opposite side of earn, and looking to trade it. You can't contest the earn. They're too far ahead. The comeback mechanic only applies for the carrier, and there's zero chance you actually are going to be the carrier. Apollo can't be in a side lane. Fine, he was just covering. Yes, use gold defensive. Oh, okay. Mistimed it just a little bit. Okay, so see. There's the earn already over here. And they're also pushing opposite. Let's see how we got here. You're going to look at 30 seconds before. Let's go a little bit farther. I'm a big fan of like 9:15. So that you can see what leads up to it. So right here off the McGinnis kill, they should already be talking about setting up their map for the earn play. Whether that be you're playing for it or contesting it. Most times it's going to be playing opposite. Let's see what happens. There's 4 here. They need to rotate. You need to be focusing on getting the pressure here. It's Doorman, so he gets to choose where he goes. This guy's just dying to turrets. He loves taking minion damage, man. Okay. Pay attention to mid. We already know what happens there. 940. So we should already be having someone over here pushing this wave. Someone needs to be with Pocket. Let's go back to see what Pocket's doing. Camps, wave, camps. Okay. They should be already starting to set up over here.
Our blue walker is under attack.
And again, I'll be a broken record. If you're behind like this, most times you are not playing for the earn pickup because you cannot. We learned from the drafting part of this where they have Calico and Dormant, so it's going to be pretty hard. All right, here. This wave's already pushed. These two, or at least Viscus bare minimum, needs to be already over here. There's no reason he shouldn't be. They're already late to push it up. They're double sending here, which makes no sense. They need to be three right side, already pushing. Like, this should never be able to happen. Viscus is playing for the buff, when realistically you need to be pushing the wave with it, and then you could do it as a byproduct. So you have mid-prio, you have a guy under Walker. They decided to come left here with there's no chance of doing it, so you're putting numbers over here that should not be here. Therefore, they get to play the whole entire map. They win left, they win right, and they get their mid-prio back. So they have basically forfeited the whole entire map here by trying to play for that earn. With potential to lose the Walker, if they chose to. So that was one of their windows to be back in the game, was to kill this tower, and if this guy did not give it, he would die as well. But instead, they forfeited it by try to play both sides of the map, and forfeiting all of it because they couldn't choose one or the other. Deaths afterwards. Alright, now they rely on the Rift. Okay, he's using a full-on ability to get out. Again, I'm going to show you guys the correct way to Doorman. To do it against the Doorman ult. They play opposite here. This Viscus needs to be coming over here. This is the play for the tower. Pocket's full HP. There's no way that they can take this, so them playing through mid here makes no sense. There's nothing here for them to do. There's an actual objective here. If the third player was here, they'd be taking this tower. It should already be dead. So again, they're just not paying attention to where they're supposed to be. The only time the 2-2-2 comes to effect is when you're in its neutral game and you have nothing to do. Here they have things to do in outer lanes, but they're just not stacking it. And because they're dying like this, it sounds weird, but they actually can have map prio because they get to choose where they go on the zip line. So if they die here, they're behind. It's a very short cooldown. You could just come straight down.
I see crew.
That's both towers that they could have had right now if they would have played the 10-minute correct, and then just now. So this map is, assume 2 towers are down. That's like 1250 souls each, I believe. Or is it 15? I think it's 1250 each. And then, so you're looking at 2.5k. This goes down with a potential kill on both of them. And Furnace could have died here with 3. And if the person would have played opposite, that could have been a death if they didn't give. So you could be looking at like 61k right now. It would be a 4k deficit. Alright, Venator's getting ran at. Let's go back and look at Venator. Most VOD reviews, like I said, I look at the mini-map the whole entire time. And then when I see a play, I will go review it. Okay. He already sees this guy going. Right? He definitely sees this guy coming. So he's already needs to run back. There's no reason he should be playing this. He took all of his poke to someone that he saw coming down a zip line the whole entire time. You also need to be playing on this back area over here and asking for someone. The second you see Drifter, you should already be yelling. If you guys are trying to give this walker, you need to be stacking over here. Because I know McGinnis is extremely strong, so it might be a little hard to kill, but when there's 3 of you guys, it's no problem. They're already set up here. They have Dormant Calico, who has perma prio, and they're double macro heroes. So already it's an extremely hard game, but he just got picked for free. They lost this lane. They just got 1v2'd, basically. He's anchoring the mid lane, which is good. But he just punches there. I think they're tilt playing. From here, I mean, I don't blame them. Definitely is tilt play, but... Okay, from here. This game is borderline impossible to win, but if I was to make a reason for it, it would have to be... You have to make some kind of play on the Rift. The issue with that is if you don't defend this and you commit here, they could let you have it and then fight you afterwards, and those deaths turn into mid-boss. But you have to make a numbers play or else you just lose. So you have to choose one of these lanes to fight. It should probably be mid lane, because then mid lane can connect over to the Rift. Or if you get enough picks in mid lane, you could potentially pull mid-boss depending on what their cooldowns are due to them being so far ahead.
They get close.
Headed to green.
Again, they're trying to do both. At least this time it will be better. They're going to give the resist. There's no way that they can test it, and then they're going to fight afterwards. This is good. This is good for this team. Happy smiles. This is the best fight you can hope for, but we're pushing mid walker at the same time. Just flying max, slowing. That's the only time I'd say maybe don't punch, but I still actually think punching is better. Okay, that's one way to come back. And that's good for Pauper's Pupils by seeing that they didn't send everyone here. The second they saw them pushing mid, they fought even harder, which was just smart by them. Someone should have had that wave. Dorman should have never dropped that, though, but good job to Venator.
Our blue walker is under attack.
It's 15 minutes. He should be taking this tower. Yeah, okay, good. They're doing well. They're fighting their way back into it, at least. They played opposite. Holiday's playing on the Infernus. Nicely done. You can't win everywhere. Let's see what happens back here. You're just getting ran at. Okay, why are we not hovering this guy instead? Doubles? Okay, doubles. You kind of have to let him go the second there are multiple on him. You have to defend this walker. You have to use any resist that you can get. So the fact that we went to this doubles and let our M1 die repetitively is bad. Because I remember he didn't get hovered here. And now he's not getting hovered here. So he's just respawning, going down a lane, and dying. 1 and 6. So about to be 1 and 7. They're making good plays on the map at least. So it's like they against a worse team, for example, these would work. But you are versing the #1 team, so you have to make sure you're hovering. This Viscus isn't hovering at all. Their itemization in lane wasn't correct, which means they just weren't thinking about it or didn't know about it. So hopefully this VOD helps them learn. Every lane has a win con. You just gotta remember what it is. Let's see what itemization is. No slowing hex. Calico kind of gets away for free now. They're kind of too poor to buy knockdowns. So Mo's going to be able to just stay until he has max 2 on Holiday. Mo's kind of getting to just stay in the ground permanently, which is going to be extremely hard for them to first, especially when he's ahead. They're getting around it everywhere. What the heck did I just want?
The rejuvenator is descending.
All right, they're gonna have to like six-man Hail Mary a play. That's the only way back into this game, and it can't be until the rejuves are done. They could try to take a last stand at this walker and try to get off a few rejuve crystals. Just you have to play your life a little bit. You can't just all die for defending this mid walker. You can try to trade a rejuve or two, but then back up. If they choose to 6-man, which Pauper's peoples are smart enough, they know to push their outer lanes first and then go to make them choose. At least you would think. So a big part of this was the McGinnis getting fed early. And then Calico getting free roam. Mid lane, they only had that one all-in play each that got him behind. A lot of it came from the Viscus, and then Viscus wasn't hovering either. A lot of it came from the Viscus Apollo lane. They're dying for the walker. Not everyone's here either, because they shoved both outer lanes like I was talking about. It's just clean macro. And then there's a huge lack of oh, the 10-minute play. Correct. They didn't play opposite. They think they're trying to do too many plays at once. When you're this far behind, you have to choose to all in one of them. So you could keep 2 here to defend the walker, but then you need to be playing opposite tower. And then the Viscus needs to hover Venator more. Venator's already a victim. Now he's behind because he's the ground unit. He's a victim. Now he's on the ground and behind in income, so he's just even more stuff. Which is why this build's kind of went more tanky, because that's his one weakness. So I think it's the John build. So they've kind of made it as an adaptation. If he's a victim to everyone, build tanky so you're no longer a victim. I'm pretty sure if I heard comms, there'd be raging and things like that. Or there'd be lack of direction. A lot of teams lack the outer laners telling them you need hovers, or a hard IGL where they're like, guys, we can't play for this. I need 5 people pushing this opposite here, or 4 people pushing opposite here to defend walker. We'll be back in time. Calls like that. And then I think a huge part of this is draft. Like I said, I would have personally left. I mean, I would have left the Dormant up. That one's dependent. I mean, I would have done it and ban like Calico, let them have Dormant, and then I get a pocket Billy, which I'm happy with. And then Holiday third, especially since I have Lava Bolt. Lava Bolt's a really good Holiday player that I remember. Of course, some people wouldn't say leave the Dormant up because I think Dormant is just the best hero. It's just that I don't know if he outweighs Billy and Pocket together, because I think they're extremely strong. All right, that's kind of it. It was a short one, but a lot of it is going to be, oh, and DNS warm up. We'll look at the end.
that was fun.
Overall, though, some positives, though. They did make plays to get back into the game, and the Abrams pocket lane did well. All right, and then the mid lane stopped the bleeding after doing an all-in play that hurt them. And then I was going to show you guys real quick the doorman.